Shannon, what's going on here?
Josh, I'm just so positive about the direction the show is going in. I just can't wait to continue this. It sounds like Andrew Luck is trying to convince himself.
I agree.
He had this surgery in January.
Yep.
Here we are, February, 13 months later. And what we didn't hear, Skip, is that he's still like in the process of trying to get the shoulder strong enough. I would have hoped that they would have to temper him back, that he's ready to full bore throw, but we don't want him to overthrow, but we just temper him back. He's not really even throwing yet. So this has to be a concern because we're 13 months removed and you're still not really throwing? Skip, he's missed 26 of a possible 48 games over the last 3 years.
Yep.
I'm extremely concerned. He has the most serious injury for a quarterback. That's a shoulder injury to your throwing shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be scary for him.
Yep.
And we thought he's going to be, well, he'll be ready for training camp, or he'll be ready for the regular season. And then all of a sudden they shut him down completely. So clearly the surgery, the shoulder was worse than we previously thought. But here's the kicker, Skip. Unless he alters his style of play, he's going to be prone to this. He missed an entire season with the shoulder. Remember, he missed 9 games with that lacerated kidney. He missed another game, I think, with an ankle injury. You can't play this style, what he's used to, the reckless abandon, because, okay, you'll be wrecked. It won't be no abandon.
That's true. That's
and then the Colts will abandon you.
That is correct. Yep.
Man, I mean, he's like, I'm very, very optimistic, but he didn't sound optimistic. It sounds like he's trying to convince himself that everything's going to be okay. And right now in the back of his mind, he's saying, I'm 13 months in, and I'm no closer to letting this ball go 30, 40 yards than I was last year at this time. So I'm sure he's very, very disappointed.
So before I get into the rest of my argument, I want to throw out the possibility there could be some karma operating here, or at least some karmic justice in our universe right now, because if memory serves, the last time Andrew Luck played in a playoff game, it was 3 years ago. It's a long time ago. And it just happened to be the AFC Championship game in which somebody from his organization blew the whistle on the New England Patriots for allegedly deflating football.
It wasn't him?
I don't know.
It wasn't him. How he knows?
He didn't know. It was not his doing, but somebody up in the press box, maybe Ryan Grigson, I don't know.
Well, he also said that's why I can't build a team, because I got to pay the quarterback $87 million.
Okay, well, he did, but could have been even the owner, Jim Irsay. I don't know. Somebody blew the whistle and said, NFL, go check those footballs at halftime. And since that moment, since that night, the Indianapolis Colts have played in a grand total of 0 more playoff games.
Yeah.
They have missed the playoffs the last 3 seasons. And that night, just to, if anyone's forgotten, second half of that game, Tom Brady playing with, quote-unquote, legally inflated footballs, was a mere 12 out of 14 for 131 yards, and they won the second half 28-7 and the game 45-7.
Yeah.
And Andrew Luck had a horrible night that night. He was 12 of 33 for a grand total of 126 yards for the game with 0 touchdowns and 2 picks. For a QBR of 33 on a scale of 0 to 100, which, trust me, is not very good. So from that moment on, the Indianapolis Colts the next season went 8-8, and the next season 8-8, and then last season went 4-12. And Andrew Luck, as you point out, has played 7 games the first year, 15 games the second year, and 0 games last year. So he's played roughly a little less than half the games.
Correct.
Okay? So maybe there's some karma. I don't know. You never know how those things work. Because
you're not supposed to get karma here on earth. You're supposed to get karma in the afterlife.
I don't know.
You pay for what you did here on earth over there.
Maybe that's how it works. I don't know.
I'm
just throwing that out. It does seem a little odd.
Seem like
it seems like a lot to me, actually.
No, it doesn't.
So Andrew Luck has never lived up to his next Elway billing. And I'm going to say it again. He has gotten a huge pass from a lot of analysts who proclaimed him the next Elway, and now they've gone quiet. And they don't say, I was wrong about that. They just don't say anything, and they wait and hope that Andrew Luck will get back to some kind of health and some kind of performance level, because he's had his moments. But as we know, he's also been a big turnover machine. He was tied for second, he was second in total turnovers his rookie year. to Mr. Butt Fumble, Mark Sanchez. In his third year, he was second in total turnovers to Jay Cutler, Vanderbilt University. Not good. So Andrew Luck has never had a QBR above 7th in the league, and he's supposed to be a top 5 quarterback. And he's always been pretty good, but he's never been, is it fair to say, that guy? And I said it then, and I'm going to say it again now. Jim Irsay made the biggest mistake. I said it on the day he did this. Biggest mistake of his NFL career he was making, and I first guessed this, to push Peyton Manning out the back door while patting him on the head and thanking him for all he did so that he could draft Andrew Luck and make Andrew Luck the next Peyton Manning. Has Andrew Luck even come close to living up to Peyton Manning in Indianapolis? No. He has not. And did Peyton Manning go on to success in Denver? Yeah, he did, because those years in Denver, the Broncos go 13-3, 13-3, 12-4, 12-4 with the 2 Super Bowl appearances, and obviously Peyton, and he didn't carry them to the last Super Bowl, but he did his part for them to win the last Super Bowl.
He made the throws that he absolutely had to make.
And he should have been the MVP the first year in Denver, and he was the MVP with a record 55 touchdown passes his second year. So I'd say that's pretty great, right?
Yes.
And Andrew Luck has not been pretty great. And I'm going to say this again. I've never thought, and I said this before his draft, he had a great feel for football. Obviously, he's got big-time talent. He's prototype size. What is he, 6'3", 250?
Like 6'3 and a half, 6'4",
maybe 260. I don't know. He's a big kid.
He's a big man.
All right. And yet, I've always felt like he would try too hard. He wants to be the coach's dream. He'll stand in the pocket way too long trying to throw home runs. He will take hits he doesn't need to take that Peyton never took. Because you know and I know Peyton knew how to get rid of the football.
Absolutely.
And Andrew Luck will take off and run, and he will not get down. He'll try to play linebacker. He'll try to run over linebackers.
Exactly.
And what are we seeing now? We're seeing broken down. So Jim Irsay thought Peyton Manning was broken down and would not recover. Peyton's doctors are saying, nope, we think he's got a chance. As you point out, there was a point where his triceps wouldn't refire, and he couldn't even lift his right arm, right?
But here's the thing, though, Skip. Jim Irsay is relying on his medical staff. Because if I'm not going to listen to him, why am I having you on my staff? Why am I paying you if I'm not going to listen to your advice? Those doctors told him that the likelihood of Peyton Manning coming back is not very good. Now, you had the $26 million option to pick up. Skip, that's a lot of money. Way back then. Now, $26 million is not a whole lot of money now. But way back then, Skip, that was in 2012. That's a lot of cheese. So I have no problem with that. Andrew Luck was always going to be up against it, Skip, because Peyton Manning won 4 MVPs. He took that team to 2 Super Bowls. He won 1. And he has a floor at the Children's Hospital in Indy named after him. He turned a basketball town, state, into a football town. They were about to leave until he came onto the scene. So that's what Andrew Luck was up against. How was he going to get out of that shadow? Aaron Rodgers was in a similar situation, but Aaron Rodgers won 2 MVPs. He went to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, you got like, okay, Aaron, Brett. I mean, for the most part, people say I'll take Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre because he doesn't turn the ball over like Brett did. Andrew Luck is up against it, trying to undo what Peyton did.
But remember, when he walked in the door, he was blessed by everyone. They didn't like him. They loved him. Again, I was an RG3 fan. I thought RG3 could be a little better than Andrew Luck, and he was for 1 year, and then we know the rest was real history. But in Andrew Luck's case, he had a much bigger arm than Peyton ever had. He was a bigger man than Peyton, even though Peyton was a little taller, but he was stronger. He was Paul Bunyan-esque. And he was much more mobile than Peyton ever thought about being. And so everybody, he was John Elway, right?
Because
from Stanford.
Skip, he's one of these guys, and Peyton was the same way. You just take him out, no assembly required. You take him out the box, you let him go play. Peyton, you took him out the box, you let him go play. Andrew Luck, you take him, sometimes you got to add batteries. Sometimes you got to give him 5, 6, 7 games, maybe even a year to get the, no, he was ready to go play because he's always played in the pro-style offense at Stanford. He played in the pro-style offense in college. Same thing with Peyton Manning. So they were ready to go. There are a lot of, think about what you're following. You don't want to follow the man. You want to follow the man that followed the man.
Unless you're the man. Sometimes you're the man. Sometimes you just step in and say, watch this. I got this.
I mean, that's few and far between. Because no matter what Steve Young was doing, he's not going to do it. Joe went to 4, Skip, and with those MVPs. And so, like I said, Brett and Aaron Rodgers is a little different. But you following Peyton Manning, 4 MVPs, and what he's done, the way he's all the lines, all the calls, and all this going on. That's what you're up against. Peyton was beloved. No one wanted to see him go.
Except Jim Irsay.
Jim Irsay.
Yeah.
And so they kind of, Andrew Luck, if you wasn't in the draft, we'd have kept him.
You know, I think there's a little Brady Belichick going on where, not that I'm comparing Jim Irsay to Bill Belichick, but I think there was a little bit of, okay, I won one with Peyton. I need to show the world I can win one with Andrew.
Well, no, it might be karma for Jim Irsay, because remember, we got this guy, all those Star Wars numbers, those are fine, but I want some of these.
I want more of those.
I want.
Right?
What do you want? I ain't seen nothing lately. See?
I haven't even seen a playoff appearance.
No.
3 years. And now I'm seeing a young man with a broken down body because he's got a bunch of injuries, including the worst one, as you say.
Normally, as you get age, Skip, you don't get healthier. If you're broken down as a young man, you're going to be broken down as an old man. So unless they fix, I fought the general manager because they're getting all these shiny toys. They drafting Philip Dorsett. They're going out and getting Andre Johnson. Okay, you got tellers. Those are tellers, blank tellers. Who guarding the money? Who guarding 12? Line just getting ramshackle.
Well, I'm sure this is all deflating for Indy fans.
Stop it, Skip, baby. They ain't got nothing to do with that.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.